Guys, that was a lot of fun. And quite frankly, if you can't have fun in life, then what's the point? So, I just wanted to come on and do a Halloween special this year. On October 30th is when I'm doing it. And I just want to make note that Ashley Cunningham is also doing a Halloween special tomorrow in her group, Channeling with Love on Facebook. I'm coming live in my group, Intuitive Angel Messages, through Facebook. And I'm just really happy to be here with each of you. I know that it's a bit of a heavy time right now on Earth. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, does it? However, I'm still going to bring in some light. I'm still going to have fun. As much fun as I feel I can have, okay? And that's really, really important. Really important. So, as we move along, today we're going to be talking about what is the difference between ghosts, spirits, and your loved ones. And the person who is going to be helping me, assisting me on the other side, okay? She's right here. She doesn't go that far. She's right here. On the other side is my guardian angel, Agnes. And she's going to be relaying some guidance through me for each of us. I have an idea of what she wants to talk about because there is a difference between each. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about what's been happening in my local neighborhood. Okay, when I go out for a walk at night, this has happened now 4 to 5 times in the last 3 months. And I have spirit coming up to me and having a chat with me. And we're talking about souls that are still earthbound. And they're having a chat with me about what's going to be changing in the near future for some people, including me. So I'm going to talk about that first, okay? So if you guys didn't see the beginning, you'll want to rewind it and watch it again. Okay? So if you're coming in a few minutes late, you're going to want to rewind it later. So what's been happening is I'll be out walking, and each time this has happened, I've been walking with a friend. So this isn't something that's happening by myself. And I think that they're doing this on purpose because they're waiting for me to go for a walk with my friend so that I'll feel a little bit more comfortable as they approach me. Because I'm not used to having earthbound souls coming up and having a chat with me. And I wouldn't allow it anyways. I'm not up for having a convo anytime they want, anywhere they want. So those are my boundaries. And so, I'll be out at nighttime around 10 o'clock, pretty dark, coming around the corner, and I know there's a soul waiting for me on the sidewalk. And I'm telling my friend, in the dark. And my angels are nudging me along, telling me, go on up the sidewalk, it's okay. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously, this earthbound soul wants to have a chat with me. So I go ahead and I keep walking into the darkness. So as I keep walking forward, one experience I had a male soul let me know that I would have earthbound souls that would be coming to me to communicate with me. The veil would be thinning further and here on Earth. And this is what is going to be happening for myself and for many others who are ready and sensitive enough. I've also walked past a house where a lady who still lives there, even though she's in the non-physical now, she was waiting there when I was walking with a girlfriend. And I said, what are you still doing in this house? Why haven't you moved on? And she said, well, some of us still enjoy living in the home. We enjoy the energy here. It was our home. So we just want to be here. And she even explained some of us have our loved ones who have taken over the home, and we enjoy being around our loved ones who are still living in the home, and we just don't feel like we want to leave. And she even explained that some souls really enjoy the vibrational frequency of the earth, They still want to be here. And so I found that really fascinating. I was like, wow. And in my mind, I'm thinking, because if it was me, I'd be out of here in like 2 seconds, you know? I'd be done. Yep, take me home. But some of these souls want to stay here. So the main theme of each of these earthbound souls is that they choose to be here, or they are visiting, coming back and forth and visiting here, staying here for lengthy periods of time. And they want me to know that I am going to have more visitations by souls in the future, through my readings, also in general, coming up and conversing with me. And lastly, I have a cemetery that is literally 2 blocks away from my house, maybe less, really, it's a full block. And everybody here where I live loves to go for a walk through the cemetery. And I never understood it, because where I came from, you don't just go for a walk through the cemetery. No, you go there to visit your loved ones and then you leave. You know, and even you would drive into the cemetery, you wouldn't walk really through it. But here, this cemetery is really old. I'm talking about late 1700s, okay? So this is the original people that came to break ground here in the city where I am. And the really fascinating thing is, the land that the cemetery is built on was owned by a family, and the husband died back in the 1800s. And so they allowed the woman to own the land, because her eldest son had left to the US, and she was the only last remaining person. And so that it was the first woman to own her own land here in my local area. So at the end of her life, she donated the land to the city, and the city decided to make it into a cemetery. And you have people from all over the world buried here. UK, Italy, all over the UK. I mean, the UK really did predominantly build here and come here first. So, oh man, everybody loves to go for walks through this cemetery. Big giant trees that have been there for a long, long time, and old tombstones, like really old. Like, it's unbelievable how old these are. And we have some famous painters buried there, and it's just an amazing, and poetry and writers. So it's an amazing place to walk through. It's just like a historical. They do little ghost tour walks through there year round, and history walks, and you know, people come far and wide to come here. So anyways, I was walking with my friend. We were going by the cemetery, and I know there's a group of spirits hanging out watching us. And I even see this bright blue light flicker in the cemetery, and then it goes out. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, first I said to my friend, "Did you see the blue light? Did you see the blue light?" And there's no people around. I can't hear anybody. I don't see anybody. And we keep walking, and this collective of souls is following us down the street. And I'm like, I'm not interested in talking right now. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you right now. And they keep following us, and they're not listening to me. And I can just hear my angel like chuckling. And I'm trying to hold my boundaries, but no one's listening. And so we come up to my house, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to deal with them now, because now we're at my house, you know. I don't want them to be here. So you have to deal with these things, right? And the message that comes through from this collection of spirits is that I'm going to start conversing with souls on more of a regular basis. The veil's going to thin. This is what's going to happen to myself and others who are quite sensitive as the light permeates through our vessels and the earth as ascension takes place, and it ramps up in years to come. And this is what's going to be happening here on earth. And I'm like, okay, thanks for the message. I'm going to go now, and you guys can, you know, go on your merry way. Because there was probably about 8 of them. And they're hanging out in the cemetery waiting for me. And I thought, yeah, you know, I'm good, you know, bye-bye. So it's the same message over and over and over. And everybody is just getting me used to communicating with spirits without any fear or worry or concern. And that's much appreciated, because that's always what I've always said. You know, as long as everything's comfortable, I'm okay. So this is what's been happening over the past 3 months. And now we're going to lead into what we're going to talk about today, and what I'm going to channel the guidance from with my guardian angel Agnes. And we're going to talk about what is the difference between spirits, ghosts, and your loved ones. Okay? And then I'm going to take a couple questions at the very end here. So here we go. What is the difference, Agnes? She wants me to talk about what I think the difference is, because she feels as though I'm on the right track. Then she's going to step in. Okay, so for me, spirits are souls that are aware of where they are. They know what's going on. They're choosing to be earthbound or not. They choose to come and visit, predominantly visit. I'm getting 2 cents in on the side here. So they come and they go, and they're here helping us and guiding us and assisting us. They feel very strongly close to those of us here on Earth, and that's where I would go with that. Ghosts are not sure where they are. They might even be thinking that they're still living. They haven't quite come to the realization, or care to come to the realization, that they've crossed on, and they're more earthbound or stuck. Some of them are stuck. Some of them choose to be earthbound. It's similar to like when I was going for a hike around a lake last summer, and a group of Native Americans decided to make their presence known, and they were observing me, and nobody was responding to me. So I was thinking, do they not speak English? Which is fine. I was just a little concerned because I'm not used to spirit not responding to me. So I waited, and I know that irregardless of language, that my helpers can translate for me, but nobody's responding. So and it's not super friendly energy, more curious energy, but not super friendly. And that's when Archangel Michael stepped out from behind me and expanded his energy really big. And I said, are these Native Americans here? And he said, yes. And then he expanded his energy, and he looked at all of them, and he said, disperse, with his arm. And I went, okay. And all of them very slowly turned to walk away. I'm going to say that these are more ghosts. And I'm getting a three thumb up response to that, okay? These are energies that are just hanging out on Earth because, A, they may feel as though they're still in the physical. They don't want to leave. Some of them are running amok. Some of them are earthbound trapped. They don't understand. Another time I was going into a house where I was cleaning, and I was in the basement area, and they had just started doing construction, and that's when I got a disembodied voice off my left, really loud, like just reverberated up against my body, and about 3 feet away from me, I'd say, maybe 2 feet. And I just put my stuff down. I went, okay, I don't understand what is happening here. I have an idea. It's slightly concerning, but I wasn't going to let the fear get to me. And I walked out on the front lawn, and that's when I called in Jesus to help this soul. And the soul was hunkered in the corner, rocking and not certain about what was happening. It just was not sure what was taking place. So it was lost. It was needing help. And I think the construction, which they were building a suite in to this area in the basement, was causing some upheaval with this soul. So that would be deemed as more of a ghost. Now we're going to move into, sorry, there's some hammering going on here apparently. It's not a ghost knocking on the walls, it's actual hammering. We have your loved ones. So what's the difference between spirits, ghosts, and your loved ones? Your loved ones, how I see it after all the readings that I've done over the years, they are predominantly in a beautiful place, okay? They are in what we would call heaven or the spirit world. They're in a higher dimensional frequency, closer to source, if you want to say it like that. They're just like in paradise. The frequency alone just brings you to tears. It is just absolute, pure, heavenly bliss. And sometimes they're in a resting chamber. It looks like that to me. They're just resting. I'm not to bother them, and their angel makes sure that they're not disturbed. So if they've had a long lifetime, or they need to rest, that's where they go. And other times they're in like a classroom setting where they're learning and growing. And other times they're having fun, and they're flitting around so fast, like I can't hardly keep track of what they're up to or what they're doing. Other times they're sitting and reading a book, or they're playing like board games or some kind of like chess games with other loved ones. And sometimes they come through and they say, oh, I'm hanging out at the pub having a beer, so they do these, they're doing all sorts of different things, probably most likely even things we haven't even imagined that they're doing, Yeah, that's a great question, Tanya. So, yeah, we're going to go to that in 2 seconds. So with your loved ones, they come and go. They know you all too well, and they're here trying to help you. Sometimes they're just trying to heal old wounds. I never heard a loved one say, oh, I want you to keep thinking of me and mourning me and grieving me for years to come. No, no, no. They want us to give a period of time of grief and mourning and healing, and then it's time to keep moving forward, okay? They don't want us to sit in grief for years upon years upon years. Never, ever, ever have I ever heard them say that. They want us to enjoy this experience to the fullest. They want us to thrive here. They want us to enjoy our lives here. And they want us to move forward and move on. And I've even had loved ones come forward and say, I'm here to let you know it's time for you to move on your own here on earth. I'm not going to be visiting as often, and it's time for you to move forward in your life experience here. So I'm going to hang back. I'm not going to visit as often, and I'm stepping forward during this reading to let you know it's time for you to move on. I've had loved ones come and say that. So here's the first question, Agnes. Why and how do ghosts get stuck here on earth? How are they getting stuck here? Ooh, we have so many things, so many reasons. So let's start listing them off one at a time. Their own belief systems, their own fears. She wants to give the example of a lady that I recognized was hiding in the closet of a house that I was cleaning. She feared crossing over because her belief system was, and she had been taught through her religious practice while she was alive back in the 1800s, that if she crossed over, there's a potential of going to hell. So she stayed in her house all those years, hiding in the closet from me. I recognized that she could hear what I was thinking, and I knew what she was thinking, and I could converse with her telepathically, and that was really, I really didn't want to vacuum the closet, okay? I was like, and it was dark, and I was like, oh God, help me. So this is a belief system that she had that hindered her from crossing over. When in truth, everyone crosses over. So it's really important. It's really important as to what you believe, because you are the manifester of your realities here in the physical and even into the non-physical. But if you ever need help, you can call upon help anytime, and you will have energies that will come and help you or rescue you, okay? So some of these energies we may want to call upon our guardian angels, our spirit guides, Jesus, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael. These are a few. But if you feel drawn to whomever you feel drawn to, even a loved one, you can call upon them to come and help you at any time, in the physical or the non-physical. Another reason why a ghost is earthbound or stuck is by way of how they passed. So some have a trauma to the head, for example, she's talking about. And so this leaves them very disoriented and not sure where they are, or even knowing that they've even passed on out of their body. And so it leaves them very confused. Also, she wants to talk about souls like the lady who was hiding in the closet, who are very fearful of crossing over based on their religious views, their belief systems. The fear is what holds them back. And if they feel as though they're not going to be forgiven when they cross over, that also holds them back, their own unforgiveness of themselves. Because in truth, everything is forgiven. All is forgiven. Okay? You cannot reemerge into this high vibrational frequency and think that this high vibrational frequency is going to hold unforgiveness towards you. It doesn't work like that. Okay? And she also wants to give us a broader perspective of this reality, which is, it is but a seeming reality, dear ones. She is talking about our souls come in a vessel and out of a vessel, in a vessel, out of a vessel, the physical, the non-physical. You may have some experiences in the non-physical and then you're back in the physical. But all of it is short and it's very quick and fleeting for our souls to learn and grow through. So remember that there are two ways of looking at forgiveness. One is, you hurt me, but I'm willing to forgive you. Okay? For the sake of myself. The second way of forgiveness is, I forgive you because I know this is a seeming reality and everybody's playing their part like actors on a movie screen. And this is but seeming. And that's how the angels see this. They always talk about, and she's saying this, and I've heard them say it, this seeming reality. They'll never say that this is an actuality. But she says that when we cross over, we will see this with more clarity. We'll understand what this experience is with more clarity. The disillusion, the illusion versus the reality of our existence. Okay, so there is no unforgiveness. If somebody goes and commits suicide, no one is over here judging them for all of eternity. It just doesn't work like that. I've seen nothing like that on the other side. I've only seen light and love. And that is in truth, essentially what we are. We are beings of light and love. So another way that a ghost, and she's not super eager to talk about this, she's telling me, another way that a ghost is gets earthbound is because there are low vibrational energies that are keeping it earthbound. But that's not as common, and it's more isolated in certain locations, which is certain plots of land and or certain houses. Okay, anything else? As we become more awake and more aware and the veil is thinning, we will come to a better understanding as to our own inner strength, our own inner power, and we won't be feeding the fear into these low vibrational energies. These low vibrational energies know that their days are numbered here on earth. This is also why the Christ consciousness is expanding and enveloping the entire planet, and the expansion of Jesus' energy here, and also his legions of angels coming along with him. This is what I'm being told. I've been told this for 3 years. And so some of us will choose to stay in the low vibrational frequency. We won't be ready to ascend. And some of us will have had enough and decide to see with clarity that we are beings of light and love, and that we can shift our own vibrational frequency, our own awareness, and awaken further and further. And she's talking about, when you are starting to awaken, when you become curious and you start asking questions and you start thinking about things that have more of a purpose and a meaning in life, and spiritual topics become more of an interest to you. That is the beginning of awakening. Okay, so what other questions do you guys have for Agnes? Let's see what's happening here. So shadow people, different than ghosts? She's talking about this is similar but different. It is a soul that has shifted and become lost, and shifted its own vibrational frequency to the point where it's lost a sense of who it is, what it is. It's again a disillusion, an illusion. And she wants to reiterate that the cleanup crew is coming, and that much is going to be cleaned up and transmuted over years to come into the future. She wants to talk about briefly this portal that's been opened up just a little bit south of the middle of Vancouver Island where I live. It's very, very high vibrational where I live. You'll see a lot of mediums live here. Okay, Tina Spalding is one of them. And the reason why a lot of light workers live here is because the frequency is so incredible. Your chakras are open, they're flowing, you feel amazing all the time. It's like when you're a kid and time stands still and you have fun during Halloween, it's like that all the time. It's amazing that I've been here 16 years because it doesn't feel like 16 years to me. And so this portal up island, I was informed that I was not allowed to go to this beach. I could go to this beach, but not that one up the road. And I was like, why not? She wasn't willing. I go, listen, you better tell me. I need to know. And so she finally told me. I don't think she wanted to instill fear, right? Because that might have been my human instinct to go there. But what it is a large portal. We're talking really large, like larger than a house. Larger than a house is what I saw. Very big. She says like a football stadium or bigger. And she says it is suctioning in low, dense vibrational frequency, and she didn't want me near it. And so I remember going to the first beach where I was allowed to go, and you could see I don't know what it was. It was like a wall of heaviness, low vibrational frequency in the distance, and I knew I was not to go there. My team would not have allowed it. So how would they stop me from going there? They just slow down the flow of energy through my chakras, creating a lot of tightness in my body, making it uncomfortable until I'd listen. That's one way. Strong gut feeling that turns into nausea and tightness in my stomach, making it very uncomfortable, and then they don't release it until I listen. And then it would just be hammering me with, don't go there, you need to turn around. So there are places on the planet which are transmuting heavy vibrational frequency at a mass rate. And she wants to let us know that. And that's just the beginning of what's going to transpire on Earth. She says some of these energies are acting up, running amok, giving up their last fight, but ultimately the entire planet is being permeated by light codes, incoming high vibrational light frequency, and everything is going to get permeated, as well as the incoming frequency of the Christ consciousness, among many others, she says, that are here awaiting in the ethers and surrounding the planet. They are starseed family members from other incarnations that we've had, other ET races. They're all waiting. They're all coming to infuse huge amounts of light, okay, to break up the darkness, if you want to say. So she just wants us to know that, okay? Is Dion, Amanda's friend, still in the resting chamber? I'm getting yes. I'm getting yes, 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 yes. And it's going to be for a time longer, okay? I'm getting a full-blown yes. All right, Sheena, is it in the ghost soul's contract to find it hard to get back to heaven? What a great question. So we have an earthbound ghost. Is that in its contract? I'm getting a big no on that. Okay. It'll learn lessons from that experience, but it's really a rescue mission to help them. So some of them have reached out to me with a disembodied voice, like I explained previously, or, just ways of them, getting my attention because they need help to cross over. They've been here for a while, and they know that I can hear them. They know, I don't just have 20 Native American souls hanging out in the forest looking at me for no reason. You know what I mean? Oh, hi, did I miss the tea party? No, they know I can see them, and they can see me. And I'm sure maybe I'm more open and expanded. Maybe they're just seeing me looking different energetically to them. So then they're stepping forward. Okay. Emma, is souls who are stuck, are some people aware that they haven't moved on to heaven? So are there other people living in these homes? She says yes. Yes, many. But she says many don't feel comfortable to talk about it or tell anyone about it. And she says she wants to break that way of doing things, because it's really important that we talk about these topics so that we don't just get scared and then ignore it or run away. We actually do something about it. That's one thing she doesn't like about paranormal programs, is that they'll investigate. There's one TV program, she says, that they actually give assistance and action steps to help clear the energy from the land or the house. But for the most part, there's investigations that take place that instill fear. But she understands that we're excited with the adrenaline to watch these types of programs, but ultimately the angels would prefer that we don't watch these types of programs because they lower our frequencies. And that frequency that's being emitted from that program is lower in vibrational frequency. It's not serving us well. She's talking about she's so funny. She's using a wording that we would use. One of her pet peeves is that when they go and investigate these homes, they're not rescuing these souls or helping them cross over or giving the homeowners any tools or action steps to do anything about it. They're just instilling more fear in the populace watching the program and just letting the homeowners know, yes, we caught this recording, we caught this voice on our recording, and then the homeowners are like, oh, great. And now what? Because it instills more fear. There needs to be action steps. And if it was filmed in a different way, just like the news on TV was filmed a different way, we would promote a lot more light. But many of those who are in charge of our broadcasts here on Earth are still unawake. They're going for what's going to be the highest views or the highest ratings. And, low vibrational news gets the ratings at this time. But when the populace starts to awaken more and more and ascend and raise and lift in vibrational frequency, they will come to see that not as many people will want to watch these low vibrational programs on TV or movies in the movie theaters, and then things will begin to shift. And she's talking about them shifting a bit by the end of my lifetime. Not like a huge amount, but a bit. But it won't matter anyway, she says, because what matters is that my vibrational frequency has shifted, and that my reality and what I focus on is what is number one importance, just including like yourself. If you want to tune things out, they're no longer in your reality because you're not focusing upon them. It's not in your space of reality. So as soon as you don't focus on something, it's no longer a part of your life, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome, Tanya. Yeah, what about negative portals in people's homes? Some are there before the individuals move in, and some are created by the individuals living there based on their own vibrational frequency and the realities in which they have chosen to create by which of what they are focusing upon, their thoughts, their belief systems, right? So you really want to watch your own vibrational frequency, I think, is the key here. And, as long as you are, for me, I remember many years ago, I recognized that nobody else was fear-based or worrying in spirit. It was just me. And I remember saying to myself, I'm just not going to let fear run my show anymore. I'm just not going to do it. Am I perfect 100% of the time? No, but I'll tell you, I'm a time better than how I used to be. I used to have these old tape patterns of worrying about money and fear and lack and blah, 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 blah. At some point you just get done did. Am I right? And so I just started to kind of move in their direction because I was listening to them and following their lead. And my God, I felt so much more free, focusing on the higher vibrational aspects of my reality rather than the low. It's wonderful. So I can't highly stress that enough of the importance of that. Yes, and Rita, I think what she's trying to say is some of these energies or portals are there before we move in. But if they see an easy target, they go for it, right? Children can be an easier target, possibly. I'm not saying I believe in that because I don't want to feed energy and power into that. But also, some of us are really lower in vibrational frequency and we create our own reality. So we are a vibrational match, some of us, for low vibrational energies to attach. Okay, so the one thing that I teach in the courses that I offer, and I don't do this from fear, I do it because I'd like to have myself cleaned properly. So in order to have myself cleaned properly, I was guided to a request or a prayer, which is all low vibrational energy must leave me in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. All low vibrational energy must leave me and my life in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. So now at this point, I've called in a very high vibrational frequency to come and cleanse me. And everything has to go. And then if you want to ask Jesus to come in and really start to permeate his energy through your vessel and help you through your day-to-day, no low vibration energy is going to want to be around you. It'll be like, oh my God, get away from her. Okay? So I don't do this out of fear. I do it because I like to be clean and feel good and feel super high vibrational. And there are many years where I spent many days, many nights drinking in pubs and bars. And when you're drinking, your inhibitions are lowered. Okay? So you're an easier target. So that's where, a lot of these energies hang out. But I was a vibrational match for that energy at that time too, right? So now as I've shifted and I've raised in vibrational frequency, I've cleansed and cleaned my vessel. Now I'm calling in Jesus to clean the energy up off of me. And it is gone. It's wonderful. So this is something that you may ask for, 10 times a day, 15. They asked me to do it 15 for a month, every day. But, you think about 15 years of self-abuse with alcohol. Maybe I needed it. Maybe a month, 15 times a day wasn't such a bad idea. So when you're saying that request or that prayer, you say it like you mean it. You're not like, yeah, all low vibrational energy must leave me. Okay. Where's the energy behind it? You want to say it with oomph. You want to say it like you mean it. Okay? Okay, so I'm just going to answer a couple more questions that I feel are on target. Joanne would like to know if her partner who has crossed over, her son's father, is stuck, or did Jesus took him? Oh, he got taken. He's gone. Did you make a request? Because that's what I'm hearing. Prayer. Praying he crossed over. Oh yeah, he's over there. He's totally fine. He's more than fine. He's in a very blissful, I don't know how to explain that to you, but the frequency is elated in bliss. Okay? Like, we can't even process that kind of bliss in these human experience. Unless maybe your angel opened up, passed through your body, you get a taste of that for a few seconds, and then go into shock. Yeah? Okay. Okay. All right. So what do you do when a deceased person shows up during your meditation? And this has actually been happening a lot lately. Two of the mediums that I work with have had a lot of souls coming and chatting with them recently. And even one soul will step forward, but they got a collection of other souls with them. And the mediums that I know have been calling in Jesus to come and take them and cross them over, because they're still earthbound and they need help. So they're stepping forward more and asking they just start chatting with them. And then we just call in an energy. It could be Archangel Michael, it could be Jesus, could be whomever you feel in alignment with, to come and cross them over. Okay? So if you have somebody show up in meditation, well, sometimes it's a starseed family member coming to visit you. So you would have to practice with the yes and no responses, right, Hushna? And sometimes it's a lost soul, if you want to call it that just needs to be crossed over. So then you would just bring in Jesus or Archangel Michael or your guardian angels. And if they're not crossing over easily, then you can have a word with them that this is where they need to go, this is where you want to be, and you may need at that point to bring in Jesus. Okay? I'm just using Jesus because he's an incredible being of light and love. He's a soul that is wise, and he helps us. So why wouldn't you want to ask for help? I didn't at the beginning. I didn't want to chat with Jesus. I associated him with religion, and I was not interested in chatting with him. He knew that too. It didn't stop him though. He was like, yeah, I know. He didn't say it like that, but I just said, here you are. You need help in your life, and he's stepping forward and offering his assistance, and you're going to say no? Like, come on. All right. Okay, so I think the last words of guidance that come through are being aware, awakening, and being aware of our own vibrational frequency is the key, and it is what is needed moving forward. Fear-based thoughts, worrisome thoughts, hand them off to your team of angels on a regular basis. And that is all of that is needed and necessary moving forward for the cleanup crew will be taking care of everything else. Unless you are beginning to open and channel, you may have souls that are guided to you to assist in order to help cross them over. And she's saying, if you were in their shoes, you would want someone to help you, wouldn't you? So it's really important to call in help or verbally talk them to cross over the veil into the light. Sometimes these souls do not see Jesus. They don't. Their fear and their restriction of their belief systems hinder them from seeing their teams or their angels, their loved ones. And so they can still see us in the physical, and we are needed as the segue or the middleman in order to help cross them over. And this is a great honor bestowed upon each of you that is asked to help souls cross over. Some souls will stay here to assist us, and some are coming and going. And for those who are earthbound or lost or dense vibrational frequency, low vibrational frequency, it is time to clean up the planet. Thank you, dear ones. Much love, Agnes. Okay, everyone. Have a wonderful Halloween. Love you.